Hi, welcome to the Hit Save on That podcast. I'm Wendy Rivera with Speak Bride, and we're going to be talking this week about the reason why brides do so many of the behaviors that they do, that bridal boutiques can get so frustrated at. Why do they schedule so many appointments? Why do they bring so many people with them? Why do they continue to try on dress after dress after dress? They want to pull all the dresses off the rack. Why do they do so many of their behaviors? And a major thing that brides can say is that they have anxiety, fear, anxiety, these drivers of many of the bride's behaviors. What do we do with it? How do we help brides beyond this block wall that we can feel that we hit when they just say, I have anxiety, or they're just doing these behaviors and we're like, why do they continue to do that? How can I help them out of it? We're going to hit it this week on this podcast. Do not miss it, because it's vital information for you to understand well the creatures that we get to help, these brides, and know that they're not crazy. They just have fear. They have anxiety. And in this podcast, I'm going to tell you the secret. There's a secret tip that is important to switch their minds from anxiety to something else, and the how-tos to do it. We're going to fit a lot into a short period of time, and hope you're there for it, because it'll be helpful.
We talk a lot about the fact that all brides, no matter who they are, have one thing in common. You all could write it down. You could all chant it with me, is that they have some sort of fear, right? I want to change that word fear a little bit to anxiety. I want to talk about brides with anxiety, right? I'm seeing some amens and some yes, hallelujahs. Yes, perfect. Brides with anxiety, because it's not just brides with anxiety. People, humans, have a lot of anxiety, right? And it's like a tagline or a word that everybody has that they use a lot. Well, I have a lot of anxiety about blah blah blah. Well, I just struggle with anxiety, or I have anxiety. That word is used a ton, and it seems like it's the trump card in a way for there's nothing to be done about it. If they struggle with anxiety, there's nothing to be done about it. It's inside them. Nobody can change it from the outside. Nobody can actually help. It's just something they're going to struggle with. For me, I never love something in life that feels like it cannot be solved or helped. That helpless victim feeling. Do we all have anxiety at different times in our life? Absolutely. Are there things that can help? Absolutely. And I think that we have to, as stylists, as store owners, as the internal culture of our store, if we can wrap our heads around what we're going to talk about today, and purposefully do this. Y'all, this goes from, I won't even be able to get into all the ways it goes to all the things. Like, it goes from social media to website to your texting, your DMing, your greetings, your for front loading. Why do we front load? Why do we do the pre-call? How do we do the pre-call in that way? And what does that do internally to the bride, and blah, 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 all the things. How to overcome the objection of, I don't want to sleep on it. How to overcome the objection of, this is our first place. All of those questions that we always struggle with and get all the time become way fewer. And not just fewer, we have an easier closing ratio when we can nail this thing. The antidote. Okay, let's talk about anxiety for a second. The anxiety that they come in with. What are some of the things that brides do? What do they do that we can trace back to the fact that they have anxiety about that thing? Put it in there. So, like we've talked before about some of their fears. You could list their fears or their anxiety, but what are also some of the actions that they take? Because they have anxiety about this process. Making multiple appointments right away. That's right. I'm going to be safe, so I'm going to make multiple appointments because I'm not sure about this process, so that'll help me feel a little bit more secure. Okay. Too many opinions with them because I have anxiety about this process and these people make me feel secure. Too many gowns they're trying on because they want to make sure they've tried all that. That's right. Shopping without her person that she needs the biggest approval from. Yeah, like she's worried that she's going to try on dresses, but she can't make this decision because that person's not there. Or I don't want to shop without this person. Or I've just got to get an idea because that person's not there. It's all those actions. Those are just touching on some of the many, right? Okay, somebody says I'm shopping by myself and then bringing everyone else once I have favorites. These are actions that brides take because brides have anxiety. As experts. We can hit save on the fact that these activities are absolutely predictable because they have anxiety. All right. They're predictable. We get it. That's why brides act the way they do. This is a big decision, big time in their life. They don't want to mess up. So they do all of these activities that in the bridal industry, everybody complains about, right? We're always like, why did the but it's the anxiety that really that's the problem. That's the problem, isn't it? There's an antidote to anxiety. Anxiety is a good definition. I heard it recently. I may even slaughter it as I say it, but anxiety is the emotion, the negative energy that I spend because of concern that an outcome will not be what I desire. So energy that I spend, it's negative energy I spend on a future outcome that is undesirable to me. All right. The problem is that energy, if that stays there, and hear me with all your ears, if that energy stays in that negative place, then they will more than likely have the bad outcome they are worried about. If that energy stays, they will struggle to find the actions to take to change what they need to change in order for a good outcome. They will struggle because the negative energy is actually working in that direction. So the actions they take will be based on that. Why do we get frustrated with brides? Because all those things we just listed, the brides are putting in their own way. They are the obstacles that the bride is piling in her own path. Can we not agree? Those are obstacles she's putting there. And we're like, that's not the solution. Those are obstacles, actually. That's going to stop you. Why is she making those actions? Because the anxiety is causing her to take those actions, which is self-sabotaging, okay? It will hurt her process. But she keeps every bride, so many brides, let me put it that way, so many brides can be operating in that way. And industry-wide, we have to, boy, doggone it, if we could do this industry-wide, we would change everything. And that's why when you do what we're about to talk about, it changes so much at your shop. And instead of them having tons of obstacles that they can't overcome and that you feel helpless to help them overcome because they're so set in that way, instead of telling them, oh, that's not the way to do it, blah, 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 we're trying to talk about the actual problem itself sometimes, or we're trying to make rules about the problem itself instead of solving it at the root and changing it. I don't want to just get rid of their anxiety because that is not the solution. The solution is changing it entirely to anticipation. If we focus all of our energy on changing the internal feeling of the bride to anticipation in all of our answers, in all of our talking with them, in all of our communication, in everything we're putting out there, we are building up something huge over here that's so exciting, that's so worth looking at, that brings her so much security, and she's looking forward to those moments. And the energy we have is anticipation. That's also key. Our energy has to be anticipation. If that is, and we have all of these things we're telling them to get them excited about it, that is when anxiety changes. The fact that they think is a fact, that they need to go all the places, they need to have all the people, they need to try on all the gowns, they need to sleep on it. Those are facts they will put in their heads and focus on them, thinking that's going to be the solution. And they're like, yes, we're going to do it, right? That fact, we as an industry need to not agree as fact. We don't need to look at it and try to respond to it. It's not set. It's set in the bride's mind, but it's not an actual set thing. Are you with me on this? If our mindset changes to, no, I get it. I know that that's what is in her brain, but that has nothing to do with reality. Reality that I'm going to be in and I'm going to stay in and I'm going to stay excited about is that I am here to create, facilitate, define, and protect life moments. I'm making a life moment for this girl. I can't wait for her to come in. I can't wait for her to see what we have and what we do and how we do it. I can't wait for her moment to happen. And I'm going to be there to capture it all for her and to tell her what a beautiful moment it is. I can't wait for all of those things and to meet her and see what impact I'm supposed to make in her life and what impact she's going to make in my life and how I'm going to help them in their relationships. I can't wait. I can't wait. That anticipation comes to her in a positive energy and says things that will change her mindset to anticipation. Here's an example. Stay with me. This is a Do You Speak Bride thing. She comes in. What does she say? I just want you to know I'm not buying today because this is our first shop. We have lots of other shops scheduled today and I'm not buying today. What do we teach with Do You Speak Bride? You look at her, you keep your face and you're excited, and all you hear is what? This is my first place. You don't hear I'm not buying today. That is not in the realm of reality. That is not a fact that we will even look at. It's not a fact. She thinks it's a fact. It isn't one. What do we say? Oh my goodness, this is your first time? Okay, this is, I love this. This is what you need to know. So trying on gowns, the only thing similar to it is finding the right person. And what I mean by that is it's magical. You can't plan the time of it. You don't know when it's going to happen. You don't know how it's going to happen. And it surprises you. And the surprises are the best part of every love story. And so like we get a front row seat to watch this happen every day. And it's super, super fun. So I love that you brought these people with you, because these are the most important people to you, that when this moment happens, they want to be there. And you're one of those brides that has a chance. Ding, ding, listen to me closely, stylist. I'm about to say the part that builds anticipation. You're one of those brides that has a chance for your appointment to just be perfect, like untouched, beginning to end, like your story to be like perfect. You know what? I don't know what you don't have to look very far to know that not every experience is perfect in bridal. And I don't know what happens out there, but I know what happens in here. And magic happens here all the time. And it's super, super fun to watch. So the fact that you're one of those brides that has a chance to just have your story just be perfect that just lights me up. And I can't wait to do it. Okay, so talk to me about, this is swinging them from anxiety, strong things they've put in place because of anxiety, to a place of anticipation. Now, here's the good news, friends. We didn't just clear the space for her. The more I study about anxiety and things, the more I am seeing why that particular paragraph has power out the wazoo, because it changes them from roadblocks, obstacles, things they've put in place to protect themselves based on their anxiety, that they think all these things are solid. And it makes them not only go away, it changes her down the path of, I want to have what you just said. I want to say yes. I'm hoping I get to say yes and be one of those brides that has the perfect story. I'm hoping for that now. So we've changed the internal emotion. What does that change? It changes the energy they put forward in the rest of the appointment. Slowly but surely, she starts moving towards, I actually want, there's things I want. There's things I want. She has to believe that the things we are creating are for her. I love talking about the parties we do. Why? Why do I share with people in this industry that I do parties for our brides? I couldn't have even told you then that scientifically it creates anticipation, but I know it creates anticipation for them of wanting that. Like a FOMO in a positive way. I don't want to miss out on those things that other brides get to have. So it creates in them this I might be okay with finding it, but instead, I can't wait to sign and say I'm an Ava Loren bride and it's my identity. And I am a part of this really cool. Do you see the difference? Anticipation to becoming a bride. We talk a lot with Do You Speak Bride about making them want to be your bride 55% before they've even come in your door. Like I want them 55% of the way. I really, the more I study, feel like I've undershot that percentage. I think that when you nail anticipation, they're yours. And it doesn't matter what dresses you have. It doesn't matter how many dressing rooms you have or don't have. It doesn't matter any of the things. You build the anticipation, you build all of that. Then the whole thing shifts and they're like, I'm yours. And that's what I want. So much so that I am considering, like right now we're making t-shirts that say I'm an Ava Loren bride mom, or I'm an Ava Loren mom. And we're going to try to sell them to the moms before the appointment, so they wear them at the appointment, because our goal is to have them be ours before they walk in the door. This is why do we do that? Because we're just trying to know, because the antidote to anxiety is anticipation. The swing from anxiety, the only way to get them out of their negative head is to replace it with something they actually are excited to want themselves, to have themselves, to build in their mind and heart the fact that there is so much wonderful. These are good decisions. This will be a good decision for you. And that's what I'm here for, is to help you make a good decision for you, not for me, for you. This is all that you get. Here's the package. Do you see what I'm talking about? So front loading, social media, phone call, DM, answering messages on Facebook, emails, texts, all of that stuff. Work to build anticipation and never underestimate it, because you're not just getting them excited about the dress. You're actually giving them the antidote to the anxiety they're feeling. They start relaxing, opening up more, telling you more. They will open up more and more and more. And sometimes they're like, like Patty was telling me when she was here, she said it was so fun on Saturday when one of the brides that she called, of course, she'll get, 5 of the 35 brides that she calls will be hers. So one of the brides told her, she was like, "Oh, you're the one that did the pre-call with me?" And she was like, "Yeah," because you called me on Thursday. She said, "You have no idea. I was so scared. And then you called and I was like, I cannot wait for this." And I was like, "Patty, that's exactly what we're talking about. I'm so scared," switches to, "I can't wait for this. I'm so excited for this." Done, friends. Done. That's what we're looking for. So the good news is you don't have to be limited by their anxiety. Just because you can feel into their anxiety doesn't mean that what they are afraid of is reality. What they are afraid of and the protections they put in place are because they think this is solid and set. We know what they've put solid and set is absolutely changeable. If we can help them understand what to feel about these things. This is true about anything in our lives. There can be bad circumstances that happen to us, but they don't destroy us, or they don't, like, if we look at them and go, "You know what, but this, and this." If we have our different mindset about it, it changes how we feel about it, and it changes our solutions that we can find. But if we're like, "Oh my goodness, this is just hopeless. This fact is unchangeable. This is how it's going to be." I hate it when people are like, "Well, brides are just going to be, we know brides and blah, blah, blah." No, they are a movable object. It is not set in stone. We can tell where they start, but that doesn't mean that we are doomed to be chained to their perceptions. We're not doomed to be chained to them. We must know them so we can help them move from point A to point B. And what is point A? Anxiety. Point B is anticipation. And that's the finish line. So I want you to hit save on it. I want you to go and talk to the brides. And when you talk to her, even if the first time you meet with her is when she first walks into your boutique, immediately your anticipation and your energy, your positive energy about an outcome in the future that is desirable to you, right? That energy is going to absolutely help her believe that the outcome is desirable to her. And your work that you put in of creating really cool things for brides, don't underestimate it. Don't act like it's not a big deal. Don't just be like, "Well, yeah, we also do this and we do this." And don't look at other shops and go, "Well, they're doing something special too, so mine's not special." No, you believe that all the work you are doing is so good for this bride. It's so helpful. It's so thoughtful. It's so empowering to this bride. It's exciting to this bride. Believe that, because it affects your energy and how you communicate it. Patty has a beautiful gift. If you were on the live this week, you experienced this. As soon as she started talking, Patty has an expression that says, "I can't wait to watch the joy you get to experience." Her expression says it. She says, "I can't wait to watch the joy you experience." Like, you can tell she gets joy out of watching your joy. Guess what that creates in you? A bigger awareness of joy. You're excited then, just watching her face be excited for you. It's perfect proof that how we operate with someone else infuses them with one thing or another. And I'm going to close with this. Listen closely, and this is going to be hard hitting. Are you ready? Be blessed careful with how you coach your team and how you coach yourself. Do not create anxiety in yourself. Don't create anxiety in your team. It zaps the positive energy from your culture. And how is anxiety created? In my opinion, I'm just going to say it. Anxiety is created when you put undue pressure on closing ratio. Stylists then see the bride as a number, as a transaction, and she's worried. And she tends to look for and be aware of the reasons why this bride is not going to purchase so that she can answer for it later. You want to free your stylist? You want to free yourself? Focus on all the good you can do for these brides. Focus on thinking into this really is this girl's one journey to find her dress and experience this in her. And I'm here for it. What else can I do to help this be amazing for her? I'm going to focus all my energy there. And I'm going to focus my energy in encouraging myself in this way. And I'm not going to have all of these thoughts where I'm going to have a checklist that I have to go through. Did I do this? Be careful. If you have accountability for your stylist, be careful with how you meter it out, because we as stylists can be shut down with anxiety faster than you can blink your eye. You might not be thinking you're giving us anxiety. You might be thinking you're helping us find solutions to the things we're facing. And that could be your motivation. More power to you for that motivation. But you got to know stylists can receive it in a different way. It's the same with kids. We can have a great motivation for teaching our kids things, but instead we can create in them anxiety unknowingly, unwittingly. We've got to help the stylist know she's amazing as she is. She has value because of who she is. She has strengths. And if you are like, some of you guys are a one-person show, you're a one-woman show there, it is vital for you to tell yourself, these are my strengths. No one has me. I have me. And that's all I need. If you needed more than that, you would have other people around you. But clearly, you are able to do what you are doing because of who you are. Tell yourself that God has given you the gifts for what you need, and he's given you the tools for what you need, and you've got it. And all you got to do is stop looking internally, except to encourage yourself, and look externally to see how you can serve. I read a quote this week that said, if service is beneath you, then leadership is beyond you. It's a good quote. You focus yourself on how to serve, and your leadership ability with the brides and with everyone around you is going to expand. You're a leader. It's why you're sitting there. It's why you are doing what you're doing. You are a leader. So what are we seeing in the people that we want to lead? We're seeing anxiety. What do we do to help them with anxiety? We work hard to create atmospheres and create internally in us a true anticipation of meeting her and a belief that by meeting her, we're going to make an impact in such an amazing way, that she needs us, that we're going to have an incredible interaction, and she's going to leave more sure of herself than when she came in. We're going to create parties for them. We're going to create experiences for them. We're going to create pictures for them. We're going to create memories that nobody else is focused on creating and capturing. We're going to create hugs for them. We're going to create every positive thing we can think of. And we're going to spend a lot of energy making sure our brand is communicating that out to the world. Why? If you want a financial reason, it is because you will close more brides. But I will tell you, even that number will increase when your goal is the bride herself. You got it. Encourage yourself in it, create anticipation, pump yourself up, say, we got this, and pump the bride up, answer her questions, show how you're just the most easy person to talk to, and it's going to be so much fun, and you can't wait to do these things, and you're so excited. Every front-loading conversation, every conversation in the dressing room about being your bride and why you are so excited for her. If she gets to be your bride, that is going to be the most fun thing ever because of da-da-da-da. You're taking anxiety blockage and going like this with it and having her open her hands and go, please, please, please let me be in your circle. That's it. That's why I do Speak Bride is Magic, is because it's based on those things. So know it, believe it, do it. Talk about it, and then tell us about it. Tell us about your successes, because we want to high five you from where we are. And if our industry could stop thinking that brides are stupid for their obstacles and figure out the ways to create things that brides would actually want, it would be a different day. It would be a different day. So let's do that together.
Thanks so much for being here on the podcast. I hope there was something in there that made you go, oh my goodness, I can use that as I'm helping brides. In fact, a lot of our stylists who we do training with, they rewatch the training over and over and over again, and they come away with something new every time. So these podcasts will be the same. Watch them over and over and over again so that it sticks with you. You can't get it all in one sitting, but I hope it's both educational and inspirational for you, because what we do is help brides be empowered to have a moment in their life that they will never forget. And it's telling their love stories to the whole world. It is a bigger job than a lot of people realize of what we're doing. It's way more involved relationally. So this podcast is specifically designed to help you relationally in your life. That may mean you're acclimating to things differently in your relationships, and I hope so. I would love to hear the stories of how this podcast helps you. So comment or DM us, like and share it if it helps someone else in your team, maybe even just someone else in your life. There might be stories in there where you're like, this would be helpful. Definitely share it with them, and make sure you come every week and hear the podcast. We also have a training platform. If that's something that will help you even more, come join our Speak Bride training platform, where we interact with these things every week with stylists from all over the world, and be empowered to do your job in a major way, because love needs to spread, and we get to be the ones that help it do that. So join us, and thanks again for listening to the podcast.